It was raining when she stood at the edge of the street, soaked to the skin, clutching a paper bag that was falling apart. Her eyes searched every passing face, every rushing car. No one looked back. No one cared. She looked like any other tired woman trying to survive a hard life, until you looked closely. Her name was Miriam. She was 42, once a confident woman, a schoolteacher with a home, a husband, and laughter in her kitchen. But life doesn't send warnings when it plans to burn everything down. Her husband died in an accident 2 years ago. Her job was lost during school cutbacks. The savings ran dry. Now, she was just the woman who hangs around near the bus stop, as people in the neighborhood whispered. What they didn't know was that she had nothing left, except one last chance. That morning, she walked 2 hours in the rain to reach a hospital. Not for herself, but for her daughter. Her 10-year-old, Layla, lay in a government hospital bed, battling a fever that wouldn't break. She needed an injection. One that cost only 1,800 rupees. But Miriam had 620 in her pocket. She begged, pleaded with doctors, stood in the pharmacy line until they asked her to move. "You're wasting our time," they said. So now, she stood outside, hoping, just hoping, a stranger would listen. She approached a man in a suit. "Sir, I'm not a beggar, but my daughter." He waved her away. She tried a woman with shopping bags. "Just a little help for." The woman looked disgusted. Everyone has a sob story. Even a food delivery guy walked past. "I'm late, Baji," he mumbled. Hours passed. Her soaked bag tore. The little money she had dropped into a puddle. And still, no one helped. Until a boy, maybe 17, wearing ripped jeans and a schoolbag, stopped. He stared at her for a moment. "Auntie, what's wrong?" At first, she didn't answer. She was tired of telling the story. But something about his eyes felt honest. She whispered everything, in broken pieces, barely holding back tears. He listened. Not like others, he really listened. Then, he opened his bag and pulled out a lunchbox. "I don't have money, Auntie. But I can take you to someone who helps people." Before she could say no, he held her arm and led her through the rain. He took her to a small tire shop. Inside was an old man with oil-stained hands and tired eyes. The boy explained everything. The man didn't ask questions. He simply opened his drawer and handed her 2,000 rupees. She burst into tears. "I don't know how to thank you." The man said quietly, "Just take care of your daughter. That's enough." Miriam ran back to the hospital, barefoot, soaked, and shivering, but this time, she held hope. The nurse gave the injection. Within 2 hours, her daughter's fever began to break. She was going to live. That evening, the doctor said, "You were lucky. A few more hours, and it could have been too late." Miriam sat beside Layla, watching her sleep, whispering prayers. She didn't have a house, or a job, or savings. But in that moment, she had everything she needed: her daughter, a second chance, and the kindness of 2 strangers. The boy never came back. She never even learned his name. But a year later, Miriam returned to that tire shop. This time, she had a homemade meal in a tiffin box. She placed it on the counter and said, "This is from me and my daughter, to the man who didn't look away." Inspiring message. We walk past people every day without knowing their battles. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness doesn't just save someone's day, it saves their life. Be the one who stops. Be the one who listens. Because you might be someone's only hope.